In question 17, you are given f of x and g of x. You're told that you need to find f of g of x and g of f of x. In the first one, to find f of g of x, you have to take g of x and plug it into f of x. So g of x is 1 over x. So you plug that in for x in f of x, and you get radical 1 over x plus 1. The value under the radical must be positive in order for the function to work, because if under the radical is negative, then the number will be imaginary. If x is a fraction between -1 and 0, then the value will be negative, which makes the function imaginary. And that's why the domain is -infinity to -1 and union 0 to infinity. Because it could be any number as long as it's not a fraction, because a fraction will mess it up. Okay, to find the range, which is -infinity, which is less than x, and x is less than or equal to 1, you have to find the limit of the function. And you find the limit by first setting x goes to -infinity, which equals 1. Because when you put -infinity in for x and you solve it out, it equals 1. Because 1 over a very, very large number or a very, very, very small number is just going to equal 0. And radical 1 equals 1. Then the next part is x goes to -1. So when you put that in, you get 0, because -1 plus 1 is 0. And then you put the limit x goes to 0, and that goes to infinity. So due to the answers you got from the limits, that's how you find the range. And the next equation, it's g of f of x, which when you put f of x in for g of x, you get 1 over radical x plus 1. The domain is -1 to infinity. Under the radical must be positive, so x must be positive or greater than -1, because radical 0 will not work as a denominator. The range is -1 is less than x, and x is less than infinity. You get this by testing out the endpoints in your domain, which you did the same thing for the first part. So the limit as x goes to -1 of the function is infinity, and the limit of the function as x goes to infinity is 0, because when 1 is over infinity, it's a very small number, which makes it 0. And when x goes to -1 for the first part over here, it goes to infinity. And that's how you solve the first problem when they ask you for domain and range for f of g of x and g of f of x.